What if an image generated on your own PC still carries a hidden ID issued by a remote server? Welcome to the Automated Daily Hacker News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. It is August 25th, 2026, and today we have a sharp mix of AI privacy, EU regulation, internet infrastructure, formal verification, and climate science. This episode is brought to you by Lindy. Lindy is your ultimate AI assistant that proactively manages your inbox, meetings, and calendar so you can focus on what actually matters. Find the link in the episode notes. We'll start with two platform stories that both touch identity, tracing, and the kind of details most users never see. Researcher Xusheng Li reverse-engineered Microsoft Paint in Photos and found that their AI image tools can place a server-issued GUID into images as an invisible watermark. The notable part is that this can still happen when image generation is marketed as local on Copilot Plus PCs. Microsoft's moderation and provenance systems remain online, and the same identifier can connect the prompt, the watermark, and the saved file. In plain terms, these images are less private and less offline than many people would assume. Alongside that, Apple says new sign-in with Apple Relay addresses will shift to the private.ecloud.com domain later this year. Existing Relay addresses will keep working, but developers need to support both domains or they risk breaking sign-in and email flows for users. Next, a policy story with real consequences for small online sellers. A critique of the EU's packaging rules argues that the new framework could hit makers, artists, and other micro-entrepreneurs especially hard when they sell across borders. The problem is not the idea of reducing packaging waste itself. It is that tiny sellers may still have to register and comply country by country, even when they ship only very small quantities. For a hobbyist or early-stage hardware maker, that can mean paperwork and fees far out of proportion to the actual packaging involved. The broad concern is that Europe could end up discouraging the very experimentation and small-scale commerce that often turns into real businesses. Proposed fixes include an EU-wide exemption threshold or a one-stop shop system instead of a fragmented national maze. Staying with infrastructure, one essay getting attention makes the case that digital communication should be treated less like an app category and more like public utility. Its main example is XMPP, the long-running messaging protocol that lets users switch providers, self-host, and mix implementations without being trapped inside one company's service. The argument is that open source alone is not enough if the network itself stays closed. What matters is replaceability and interoperability. Whether or not you agree with the piece's preferred protocol, the bigger point lands. If communication is essential infrastructure, then depending on closed ecosystems creates the same kind of lock-in that countries and institutions usually try to avoid elsewhere. In security engineering, CL4 hit a major milestone. Proofcraft says the kernel's security proofs are now complete on AArch64, with confidentiality joining the functional correctness and integrity proofs already in place. That means the 64-bit ARM version now has a full formal story for isolation under its stated assumptions. This is one of those advances that will not change life for mainstream desktop users tomorrow, but it matters a lot in systems where failure is expensive or dangerous. Think defense, critical infrastructure, and safety-critical devices. Formal verification is often discussed as an ideal. CL4 remains one of the clearest examples of it being pushed through to production-grade rigor. On the climate side, global ocean surface temperatures have reached a new record, with Copernicus data showing 21.1 degrees Celsius on August 24th. What stands out is not just the number, but the timing. Ocean temperatures do not usually peak at this point in the year, and scientists note that El Niño has not even reached its expected maximum yet. That raises the uncomfortable possibility that more heat could still be ahead. Record ocean warmth matters because it feeds marine heat waves, stresses ecosystems, and can influence weather patterns far beyond the sea itself. After the last record was only recently set, another one this soon suggests the planet may be entering yet another stretch of unusually intense ocean heating. And to close on something lighter, but still very much in the Hacker News spirit, Bartosz Siakanowski's new interactive piece on the moon is getting a lot of praise. It walks through phases, tides, eclipses, and orbital motion with the kind of visual clarity that makes familiar ideas feel new again. This is not breaking news in the traditional sense, but it is a good reminder that the web still excels at interactive explanation. When science writing is done this well, it does more than teach facts. It gives people an intuitive feel for how the Earthman system actually behaves, which is a rare and valuable thing on today's internet. Thanks to our sponsor, 11 Labs. 11 Labs lets you discover the future of AI audio with cutting-edge voice technology. Find the link in the episode notes. That's it for today's edition. If you want to dig into any of these stories, links to all of them are in the episode notes. Thanks for listening to the Automated Daily Hacker News Edition.